What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with another Dead in Hip Hop solo album review, and today I'm going to talk about the new album from Milo entitled So the Flies Don't Come. So what led up to this album review is I had done a review on my channel of Catcher of the Fade. If you haven't watched that, make sure you do. And prior to that, I'd listened to I Wish My Brother Rob Was Here and bits and pieces of releases by Milo here and there, but I never really got too deep into Milo's music, and I said that in the review. I also said that his kind of monotone delivery didn't really hold my attention, and some people took that as me saying he was whack, which was definitely not the case. Others took that as an opportunity to tell me to go listen to more of his music. Coincidentally, his new album was gearing up for release, so what better time for me to check that out than right after I'd said I wasn't into him, right? So here's what I learned about Milo. While I still think his delivery takes a little bit of getting used to, I found that the best way to really process his music is to really pay hard attention to the lyrics. There are quite a few rappers out there that I wouldn't really be that into had it not be for their lyrics. Immortal Technique, Cannabis, to name a few. You know, rappers whose delivery leaves a little bit to be desired until you really process their lyrics. Reading along to Milo's lyrics while listening to his songs really changed my perspective on his music. Once you realize just how deep a song is, and you then realize that the way an artist delivers a piece is actually intentional, it alters the way you've been looking at that piece the whole time. You know, like when you were a kid and you thought that Picasso was a totally shitty artist that just happened to get lucky, and then you realize later on that he was actually an amazing artist who could produce, you know, works of art that the traditional art lovers would actually enjoy, but instead chose to produce pieces in a unique way because that's how he felt that art should be created. It's funny that that's the way I always looked at rappers like Open Mike Eagle and Bus Driver. I'm not sure why that same mentality didn't translate over to Milo. I guess I was just sleeping. The record starts off and I'm loving the lyrics already, man. Do my best scheming in the late evening. I write poems and build suits of armor for suicide note authors. Like, seriously, let me say that again. I write poems and build suits of armor for suicide note authors. That shit is so dope to me. You scrawled the word discursive and cursive and called yourself subversive. We all belly laugh. Kind of a shot to the pretentious artists thinking that they're doing something clever by being totally obvious. Souvenir. There are lyrics in this song that really go back to what I was saying earlier about him choosing to rap in a way that he actually wants to. He says, I can rap like the Afghan, I can rap like my last name was Black Man, I can rap like the son of Myke Lad. He's basically saying that he could rap in a way that covers all bases and appeals to most people, you know, the blanket rapper. He's saying he can rap like the stereotypical pro-black rapper, and he's saying he can rap like the stream of consciousness rapper. He can do all these things, but he chooses to rap in a way that feels most like him. Hemlock Ernst is a guest on this track, and another guy that I'm not familiar with, but he sounds like a rapper that I definitely need to check out because I really enjoyed his guest verse. Reanimist. I think this song is dope and crazy. I'll go ahead and say the obvious, and this isn't a shot at all, but it definitely sounds like something that Earl would have done on I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside. It's dark, and Milo doesn't sound at all like I'm used to him sounding. He sounds aggressive and really animated here. And the line, reading nausea in a tent with a girl named Sasha and I'm bent. I don't know the significance of the girl named Sasha, but talking about reading nausea in a rap song just makes me kind of giggle. You know, or I guess talking about existentialism in general in a rap song just kind of makes me happy in an extremely dorky and nerdy kind of way. But all that said, I love the way he's rhyming on this track. Like, his flow is crazy over this beat. And I love that line, but it's back to metaphysics, flash half a rhythm, and decapitate a Metacritic god. Ooh, I hope he's not talking about me. But look, so far we have a rap album with a mention of John Paul Sartre and 2 mentions of Myke Lad, so I think it's safe to say that I'm sold. Going No Place is another song that kind of surprised me. It's another one where my preconceived notions of how he flows were totally thrown out the window. I love the way he rides this beat and basically making the repeated statements of I might seem nerdy, but I'm not to be fucked with. It's not the type of attitude I expect to hear with this type of hip hop. You know, he doesn't ever sound necessarily angry, but he just sounds really passionate and serious and almost a little bit stern on this song. And in my opinion, those are the people that are far more dangerous than the obviously angry people. And Elucid comes in and perfectly closes out this track, man. I always love the way Elucid raps. Dreadlock Jesus, take the wheel before I plow civilians. I want you to feel and tap into brilliance. He always sounds so aggressive without being loud. He just has one of those great voices. True Nen was another standout track. Again, I'm really enjoying the way he's rhyming here. We use our minds like pencils and we dress like spice merchants, preaching black aesthetic gospel. Michael calls it art rap so you wouldn't find it hostile. And Open Mike Eagle is a welcome addition, as always. He says, I specialize in pyrokinesis or whatever. That's the kind of dribble I provide you as a child, and now I'm in the straight shoes picking up a grapefruit and tell it I hate you. Classic Open Mike Eagle wordplay. Kenny Siegel, who produced the entire thing, he put together some great beats for Milo to rap over. Experimental and kind of choppy beats with that airy and dark feel, and they all sound right up Milo's alley, and he does a great job crafting just eclectic while totally listenable and enjoyable tracks out of these beats. The album comes together really nicely with the songs moving really well into each other. There's not a single down moment on this project or a song that makes me think like we could have done without this one. And again, I think once you get into Milo's style of rapping, everything totally comes together. And talking about existentialism earlier really had me thinking about how I now view the way Milo raps. The seeming lack of emotion or animation on most of the songs, the almost uncaring way of delivering goes so well with that philosophy of existentialism, of the person who doesn't really care about anything, or the person who's more perplexed by the way the world works, so he chooses to retreat into his own way of operation. It totally makes sense here. Milo's music gives off this idea that he's not really concerned with what the world thinks about him. It's more that he's concerned with simply putting his point of view out for whoever wants to see it. I'm probably overthinking this, as I do everything, but that's what I do. The greatest thing that I find about Milo is the way he puts words together. He does it in a way that's totally unconventional and extremely witty without being corny and non-conformist for its own sake. He's not your stereotypical rapper's rapper, but he's a rapper that a rap fan can easily really get into as long as you approach his music with an open mind. He says, no one taught me the language of the rap song, I was born speaking it, and he shows that throughout this entire project. Overall, I really enjoyed this project, and I'm glad I said something divisive about him in my Catcher of the Fade review, because honestly, I don't know that I would have jumped to check this out had everybody in the comment section jumped on me for saying anything other than Milo is dope. But I'm glad you guys told me that I was tripping, and I'm glad I checked this album out. Speaking of Milo, if you happen to see this, please press this on something other than cassette so I can buy it with money. Because, as much of a dorky hipster as I may come off, I can't bring myself to succumb to the whole tape craze. I just can't. But everybody else, go buy this digitally, go buy this on cassette. This is a great project. I'm glad you guys yelled at me and told me I was a dumbass for not listening. And yeah, make sure you guys leave me some comments. Let me know what you thought of this project. And as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you. And I will see you guys next time. Alright?